You've been training hard and now you feel like you want to compare your fitness level against the world. Or perhaps you need an additional boost of motivation to keep on sweating. Or perhaps you've already heard of Hyrox, the world's most famous fitness race, but are wondering whether it's for you. Over the past 4 months, I finished my first 2 races, one in Warsaw, another one in Barcelona, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, how it feels, and how to survive, especially your first Hyrox race. Hi, I'm Greg, and welcome to my walk-in closet, where I test and explain stuff so you can avoid my mistakes and make better decisions. So, Hyrox. Hyrox is a fitness race, which basically means that it's a sporting event where you have to run and perform some more physical exercises. It's a commercial event, so there is no need to qualify for it. You just pay your fee, which is around $100, sign a bunch of waivers, and you're off to the races, literally. Well, there are some qualification events taking place around the world. They're called personal fitness tests that are organized by Hyrox, but I would call them more of marketing initiatives to get people acquainted with Hyrox races and get them involved, get them on board. I participated in one and was told that I'm good to go. So I signed up for my first Hyrox race in September 2023 in Warsaw, Poland. You can participate individually or in groups. There are different divisions and age groups, but age groups are actually just for your reference to see how you compare against other people within your age bracket. So there are different divisions. First off, there is a Pro and Open division. Pro is for professional athletes and Open is for us regular mortals. The difference is mostly in weights that are used in different stations. The running laps are exactly the same. There is also a doubles division where you can run or participate with your partner. Those can be mixed or same-sex pairs, and both of you run and both of you do the fitness stations. There's also relay division where you participate in teams of 4 and each of you does 2 fitness stations and makes 2 runs, 2 1-kilometer runs. And how does the actual race look like? Those are 8 1-kilometer laps of run, separated by 8 different physical exercises performed at specific stations, and I'm going to go through all of them right now. Hyrox races always take place indoors, usually in huge event halls. In the middle you have a so-called rock zone, which is the place with all the stations for your fitness physical exercises. There are 8 of them, and around it you have the track that you run on. Depending on the size of the place, you can run 2 laps each time or 4 laps like I did in Warsaw, but it's always the same, almost the same layout. The rock zone is always inside and the racetrack is always around it. It's all perfectly organized and marked well, so you always know when to finish your lap, where to enter the rock zone, which station to go now. There are a lot of there's a lot of stuff helping you get to your place, so you should not be confused about that. But if you are getting penalty minutes. So you start with a 1 kilometer run around the track. When you finished, you enter the rock zone and go or run to your first station, which is a ski erg, where you have to do 1,000 meters on the ski erg, and then you exit the rock zone and do another kilometer around it. And then you enter again and do another exercise, which is sled push. And here the weight of the sleds vary depending on your division. For men in the open division, it's 152 kilograms, and for women it's 102 kilograms. In the pro division, for men, the sled is 202 kilograms, and you have to push it for 50 meters. Then you run again, another kilometer. And the third discipline is sled pull, where you have to pull the sled with the rope for 50 meters, and the weight for men in the standard or the open division is 103 kilograms. For women it's 78 kilograms, and for men in the pro division is 153 kilograms, and for women in pro division it's the same as for men in the open division, which is 103 kilograms. Then you run another kilometer. Once you're done, you do another station, which are burpee broad jumps. You have to do 80 meters of burpee broad jumps, and then you run again another kilometer, and then another station, which is rowing. Of course, not in a real kayak or a boat, but on a rowing machine, and you have to row for 1,000 meters. And then guess what? You run again another kilometer.
Not again.
And then another station, which is farmer's carry, where you have to walk or run, if you can, for 200 meters with two weights in your hands. For men it's 24 kilograms times 2. For women it's 16 kilograms times 2 in the open divisions, and in the pro division for men it's 32 kilograms times 2, and for women it's in the pro division it's the same as for men in the open division, which is 24 kilograms times 2. And then you run again another kilometer, and then you do sandbag lunges, 100 meter with a sandbag on your back. The weights are 10 kilograms for women open, 20 kilograms for men open or women pro, and 30 kilograms for men pro. And then you run again. And then once you've run your 8 kilometers in total, you do the last station, which is called wall balls, where you have to throw a ball at a specific height for 100 times, performing a sit-up every time. And the weight of the medicine ball for men in the open division is 6 kilograms and the height is 3 meters. For women, the height is 2 meters 75 centimeters and the ball is 4 kilograms. And in the pro division, the ball is 9 kilograms for men and the height is 3 meters as well. And frankly speaking, for me personally, this was the worst station, mostly because I'm short. I'm just 166 centimeters tall or short, which is 5 feet 5. And with short, combined with short arms, it's really straining for me to have to throw this ball at the height of 3 meters every time. And it was even more frustrating when I saw tall guys or tall girls with long arms where they barely had to throw the ball up a few inches or 20 or 30 centimeters in order to reach the bar. Well, but you play with the cards you're dealt, so what can you do? I only compete with myself, but I of course check the results against others as well.
Why? Why would you want to do that?
And once you're finished all the stations, you race to the finish line. You are all happy. They take your photos. You get your badge. At Hyrox, you don't get medals like in those marathons or other races. You get badges that you can put on your backpack or whatever. And then you go home. Before the race, of course, you get a chip that you put on your leg or hand, wherever you want, that tracks your time, and it tracks time very precisely with every run you make, whenever you enter or exit the rock zone, and every time you enter a specific station. So after the race, you can check your results online. You can see exactly how much time you spent running, how much time you spent doing a specific station, and how much time you spent in the rock zone in total in between the exercises. And you can compare your results against all the other people that raced not only with you at this specific race, but all over the world, because Hyrox it's a commercial event taking place, I don't know, almost every week or bi-weekly in all different cities around the world, on every continent. And thanks to those chips, you can compare your results against the entire world. As I said, there are different age groups and gender groups as well, so you can compare yourself against other people in your age group, for example. And the beauty of Hyrox is that it's a standardized race or standardized sports event, unlike for example CrossFit competitions, where you have different exercises and you can't really compare your results from between different different events. With Hyrox, it's always exactly the same. Even the equipment is the same. Organization of the entire event is exactly the same. So you can compare your results between different events you participate in and see if you're progressing or not. Hopefully you will be progressing. There is one caveat though. As I said, the events take place in different venues, and the layout of the venue may actually impact your result. For example, my first Hyrox race was taking place in Warsaw, Poland, and the event space was I would say mid-size, to the extent that for each of your 1 kilometer runs, we had to make 4 laps around the Hyrox zone, and then we would enter the Hyrox zone and perform specific exercises. In Barcelona, on the other hand, the venue was much bigger, so that with each 1 kilometer run, we only had to do 2 laps around the Hyrox zone. And the Hyrox zone was much larger than in Poland, but the number of stations and the layout of stations was exactly the same. What was different was the distance from the entrance to the rock zone to each station and back. So every time you finished your 1 kilometer run, you had to enter the Hyrox zone and get to your specific station. Because the event or the venue was much bigger, the distances between entrances and each station were much bigger than in Warsaw. After I finished my race in Barcelona, I felt like I really did much better than 2 months before in Warsaw. However, my total race time was exactly the same. Actually, it was 26 seconds longer than in Warsaw. So in theory I did worse, but then when I checked and compared my results online and compared the time I spent on each station and the time I spent running, it confirmed that I did much better on virtually every station. I ran faster, but I spent 12 minutes more in the rock zone, commuting to and from the stations to the entrance and exit from the rock zone. Was the venue exactly the same layout as it was in Warsaw, my total time would be 12 minutes shorter. At least that's what I think it should be, because I was not taking any pauses or breaks in the rock zone as such. I was just moving between the stations. So, as I said, in theory, the races are standardized and comparable, but in practice there might be significant differences depending on the layout and size, scale of the venue it takes place in. So it's worth noting. So now I'm gonna share 5 tips that will hopefully help you survive your first Hyrox. They certainly helped me, and I'm speaking as the beginner in this event. So tip number 1, pace yourself. Be aware that this is a long event. It took me an hour and 45 minutes to finish it, and of course by no means any benchmark, because I'm turning 48. I haven't done much training before that, and I'm not in the best shape of my life, but on average it takes about an hour and 30, an hour and 40, depending on your fitness level and on your running skills. So it is a long and exhausting event. You don't try to break your personal best with your first kilometer or any other kilometers. Actually, running is quite often, especially for people that are just dipping their toes in Hyrox races, the runs in between the stations are used to recover and relax and prepare for the next station, because they are exhausting. The second tip, food and drinks. I saw people running with camel bags, but I don't think it's necessary. You have water stations provided in the Hyrox zone. Every time you enter or exit the Hyrox zone, you can grab water and yeah, refresh yourself, unless you need special, or you feel like you need a special boost of isotonic drinks or something like that. As for food, again, I saw people carrying like energy bars or something like that with them, like they do with I don't know, ultra marathons or something. I guess an hour and 40 is or an hour and a half is not such a long time, and carrying it all with you will only slow you down and might be unnecessary nuisance with certain exercises. Bear in mind that you are not allowed to get any food or any drinks or anything else from the spectators. Of course, they are welcome to the venue. Then they can stand next to each station or the running course, but you're not allowed to take anything from your friends or from your family. You will be disqualified if they hand you drinks or food, etc. The third tip is shoes, and this is actually a big debate among Hyrox participants. Hyrox is a race. Yes, it is a fitness race, but most of all it's race. You have to run for 8 kilometers, and you have 8 1-kilometer laps, and most of the time you will spend running. So best advice is to use your running shoes, the ones that you feel comfortable in when running. Your strength training or fitness training shoes are not the best choice. Running shoes are much better. I used my trusted running shoes, which are Hoka Clifton 3s or something. They're very comfortable with running. They have high heel, which also gives me an extra centimeter or so when doing wall balls. But I think I will switch them for the next race for something less squidgy and less soft on the heel, because when you do a farmer run, a farmer walk for example, with weights, it tends to be unstable and your heel may slip and you can twist your ankle. So good running shoes, but not the bulky ones. And the shoes should give you good grip, so they can't be too slippery, because you will need the grip, especially with pushing sled. With pushing sleds you will need all the grip in the world, because those sleds are really heavy. And while we on the sled push and shoes, make sure that your shoes are laced well, so your heel does not or so your shoe does not fall off your heel. I saw people losing shoes and losing time like that when pushing sled. In my opinion, it's good to use this running the technique that runners use for to lace their shoes. That's why shoes, running shoes, have those two holes in here. If you don't know how to lace shoes using those two holes, there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube, so you can have a look at that. But this helped me hold the shoe while pushing sled. The fourth tip is practice running. As I said, Hyrox is a race after all, and at least half of your time you will spend running, and this is also where you can gain or lose the most time, except for those Hyrox zones, as I said. Frankly speaking, personally, I don't enjoy running. I do occasional runs when I have to, but this is definitely not my favorite sports activity. The pace I run is, I usually run not more than 5-8 kilometers, and the pace is about 5 minutes per kilometer. So not impressive, but not terrible.
Well, that's not great, but it's not horrifying.
Not at all.
But if you want to succeed in Hyrox, if you want to improve your results, you should focus on improving your running technique. However, I also saw people just walking instead of running. I guess there is no time limit to finish the Hyrox, and unless you're a professional athlete, you're just racing against yourself. So just make it so that you reach to the finish line and get your badge or two, or get the third one, and try to just improve your time next time during your next Hyrox. Which leads me to the tip number 5, which is enjoy yourself, especially if it's your first Hyrox event. My goal for my first Hyrox was just to finish it, and the atmosphere during the race is great. At the start line, while you're waiting to start your race, there is this huge countdown clock, and there is this speaker giving the American style pep talk about warriors just entering the battle arena, etc.
My signal. Unleash hell.
And it might be a bit cheesy. I thought so at the beginning, but then the atmosphere began to sink in. I was looking at other guys around me just preparing to start the race, and I really started feeling like a warrior going to the battle, even though I knew I'm just fighting with myself. But that's also the beauty of this race. You just treat it as your personal battle.
My bottle.
And well, that's it. That's all I have to say about Hyrox at this point of time. I hope you will be enjoying your first Hyrox. I hope you will manage to cross the finishing line. And I also wish you all the best with improving your time on your second Hyrox, because I'm quite sure that once you participate in it, you will want to participate again and again. I myself am just waiting for the right moment and for the next event to pop out in a place where I would like to go and visit, because I also treat it as an excuse to travel around the world and do something different than all my other friends do during their holidays or time off. So with that, thank you very much for watching my video. If you liked it, please give your thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are still not fed up with me babbling about things. And see you in the next video, hopefully, or at one of the Hyrox races in the nearest future. Bye. That's my kind of jokes. Sorry.